For some reason in America, time keeps going and it keeps going, and they put us in days and days, and we're in a calendar. So you start to pay attention to time too much. You say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then you start to feel the pressure of the day. It starts to become nighttime, and then you start to feel tired. You start to adjust your body and your energy to the day and to the night and to the morning because of the time. And then when you start to think about it, you start to say, hey, time is connected to the matrix because everything you do is connected to time. Whether you want to go to work, you got to go to work at a specific time to pay a bill at a specific time. If you want to go to school at a specific time, everything is connected to the matrix, from school to peace to the gods. It's Osiris, the rebirth of Osiris, fixing the nation and breaking the matrix through meditation and herbal medication. Now, I need you to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe and follow me on all platforms. And if you're new to what I do, I bring divine knowledge and I give powers back to the gods. I'm making sure that we get our freedom, our land, our technology, our knowledge. We're here to totally break the matrix. And I am Osiris, the rebirth of Osiris, the actual bloodline of Osiris. And I had to change my name to Osiris because I had to pay attention to the sky, because so we're always on the ground and we got to pay attention to the sky. But right now, I want to talk about time. Time is an actual tool that's been weaponized. Now, time was created in Egypt. The measurement of time, we have Thoth. Thoth was the creator of time. Time was used to measure moments, movement, so that you can calculate speed. So if you wanted to know how fast you went from point A to point B, you would start a clock from point A, and then from point A to point B, you would stop the clock, and then you would calculate how much time is spent from you to get there. So if it took you 5 seconds, you keep doing the same trial until you cut it below 5 seconds. Now you know you got faster by using time. But for some reason in America, time keeps going and it keeps going, and they put us in days and days, and we're in a calendar. So you start to pay attention to time too much. You say 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and then you start to feel the pressure of the day. It starts to become nighttime, and then you start to feel tired. You start to adjust your body and your energy to the day and to the night and to the morning because of the time. And then when you start to think about it, you start to say, hey, time is connected to the matrix because everything you do is connected to time. Whether you want to go to work, you got to go to work at a specific time to pay a bill at a specific time. If you want to go to school at a specific time, everything is connected to the matrix, from school to work to watching a certain television show, you picking up your kids from school. Everything is connected to the matrix. Once you get off the clock, you move at God's speed. God's speed is when you leave this dimension of 3D and you start to move off the clock. So if you start hanging out, let's say you know when you hang out with friends and you don't even pay attention to the clock, and it's like 5 hours go by and you're like, oh man, it's already 8 o'clock. 5 hours went by because you're not paying attention to the clock. You're a blur to society. You're moving at God's speed. So when you go to sleep, it feels like you will sleep for 30 minutes. You will sleep for 6 hours. That's God's speed. You're not here. You're not in this realm. So if you're in your dreams, have you ever tried to like talk to somebody in your dreams and you were like, oh, what time is it or what day is it? They get upset and they start to attack you. They start going crazy because you don't bring time into that realm. That's the heaven realm. That's your third eye realm, the one that you create and you go into with your third eye. You close both eyes and then your third eye becomes woke. That realm doesn't run off time. If you put time into your dream world or the heaven realm, you will collapse it. If they run off time, they will collapse and become the physical realm. They'll start to mingle in with us. They'll start to move slower and start to become a part of our clock system. The fact that they don't use a clock system in the heaven realm or the dream world or the Godspeed realm is because they'll start to pay attention to the clock, and then they'll slow down, and then they'll start to crash in our mind and collapsing all dimensions, going back to zero. So time separates us. If we get off time, then we elevate to their realm. We have to go to their realm. We can't let it collapse on us. That's why you can't take time into your dreams. We have to get off the clock and then we move as fast as the dream world or God's speed or the heaven realm. And that's how you get heaven on earth when you start to move with the sun, you move with nature, you move with how you feel, and you don't let time depict how you move. That is the matrix time. So when you're like, oh, I can't turn off the clock, I got to go to work. You got to go to work to make money for them, to pay your bill at a certain time, to keep your lights on. And then you got to go to school, which is a system that they teach you what they want to teach you. And then you go out here and you don't even use what they taught you for real. And then you got to go watch TV at a certain time, which is a matrix. Everything is a distraction when it's on the clock. When you turn off the clock, now you don't have to move. That's why every single religion or anybody who had divine knowledge, they say don't move or be still, be at peace. Because what is time? Time is the measurement of motion and moments. So if you don't move, they have nothing to time. That means they have no money. Time is money. So if you get on their clock, that's why they say get on somebody's clock. You're on somebody else's watch or somebody else's time, because that's how they make money, by taking your time away. If you don't think about time, you're just moving. You don't age. When you think about time, you start to age. That's why we age, or that's why people pass away, because they think about time, or they let time become an actual, like a stamp in their like gene or byproduct of how they operate or how they feel. Like, I'm getting old. I'm getting old. Oh man, I've been here for 30 years. Oh, it's like, bro, every day is the same day. You just have to use each part of the day wisely and stop thinking that something's about to end, something's about to be over, you're reaching a certain expiration date, because we don't have that. We keep coming back. You don't even remember not being here. That's the power of time, or no time at all. Because if you say, okay, people who don't exist today, what are they, unalive or not here? That's basically death. So, how can death be a part of reality if you were not here before, but you don't remember that? So, there is no time for you to recollect upon or feel like, oh, I gotta do this now. I gotta do this now. That builds anxiety because you think that you're going to die when time never existed, before you knew about time, before they taught you time, like when you were a baby or in the womb or whatever, you were flying through reality. You don't remember not being here. They say millions of years went by. This earth is 1,000,000 years old, but you came here within like what, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, whatever. You don't remember not being here. You don't remember those years not being here. And you're not going to remember it after, because you're going to continue on, because time is an illusion. If you believe in time, you're going to get trapped in it. If you don't believe in it, then you're going to keep going. Time is what keeps you recycled. Once you get off of time, they're going to start sending army, the martial law, and they're going to make you work. When you say, I don't want to drive anymore, I don't want to move and drive, because what? You got to spend money on gas, spend money on groceries, spend money on auto insurance, all of this. When you stop driving, you don't get tickets, you don't pay gas, you don't have to pay none of that, because you're not driving. So you're not moving. You don't got to go to work. So nobody has to do any physical labor. So now they're not making money at the jobs. You don't want to use their television. So now you don't have to, they're not making no money off electricity or Netflix or whatever. You go outside, you stop using their electricity, and then you start living off nature. You start learning how to live for yourself and get off the clock and move with the sun, the circadian rhythm. That's how you become free. Once you stop using what they gave you, they're going to start forcing it back on you. Get back in the house. Start watching TV again. Go back to work. Go back to school. Get back in the car. They're going to make you get back on that time grid. We're going to talk more about this. Peace to the gods. I appreciate you guys. We are going to grow. Follow me on IG. It is very, very big over there. Follow me on Facebook. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. Let's continue to break the matrix and turn off the clock.